Hi, I'm Medha.
And I'm Mackenzie, and this is Kingston. Many of you may know Kingston as Canada's first capital city, but it has a rich history even before that.
Since the mid-1700s, Kingston has been a settler's paradise. For thousands of years, Kingston and the surrounding area was home to a dense community of Mississauga peoples.
When the British came over in the early 1780s, it forever changed the fate of these peaceful people. This guy here, Frederick Haldimand, the governor of Quebec, instructed Sir John Johnson, the inspector of Indian Affairs, to begin surveying the land around Kingston for possible land negotiations prior to the purchase.
Led by Captain William Crawford of the Royal Regiment of New York, negotiations began and were completed on behalf of King on October 1783.
The signing of what would now be known as the Crawford Purchase took place on Carleton Island, a teeny-tiny island in what is now New York State, but easily accessible by ferry from Kingston.
The original boundaries of the purchase were from the Tonaita, now known as Jones Creek near Brockville, to a river of the Bay of Quinte within 8 leagues of the bottom of said bay, including all the islands extending from the lake as far back as man can travail in a day. The actual parameters at the time were from a little past Ginockway to the Trent River and about 30 kilometers inland.
Although the Crawford Purchase covers each of the 1,000 islands in Lake Ontario, the Mississauga peoples were under the impression that they were only surrendering Amherst Island, a small island just west of Kingston in the township of Bath, to the British. Upon realization, this was the start of a life of fighting rather than friendship among the British and Mississauga peoples.
Since the Crawford Purchase is a purchase and not a treaty, there was one payment for the land in the amount of £642 sterling. In the today's economy, and in Canadian dollars, that's about $159,491 Canadian. In addition to this, the Mississauga were gifted things like blankets, clothing, guns, and ammunitions, and enough red cloth to make 12 clothes and 12 laced hats, as red was seen a sign of nobility in this era.
As the years became decades and the decades became centuries, Kingston's government and inhabitants realized that something needed to be done to help bring the peace back to these people. In the last several decades, Kingston has started making reconciliation efforts in the area.
From a plaque detailing the recognition of the Crawford Purchase on the entranceway of Kingston's historic fort, Frontenac, and the traditional Mississauga land, acknowledgement was inside Kingston's City Hall.
To the Queen's University Indigenous Knowledge Symposium held annually, in the naming of Kingston's shopping centre as the Cataraqui Town Centre, Kingston is successfully working towards a better, less discriminatory future for its Indigenous inhabitants.